It says preparing.
See, that meeting is now streaming live on YouTube.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay.
And I'll hit record so we have a backup too. All right.
Is now streaming live on YouTube.
Okay. Perfect. Where is that? That is. And I'll hit record so we have a backup too. All right.
Is now streaming live on YouTube.
All right. So, I am, as you know, Andy Kennedy with Inner Self Lightworks, and my dear friend Julie lives here in Steamboat Springs with me. And I have been working with Julie for a very long time, probably 15 years. I think she's amazing, and I want to introduce my audience to her. I have taken an upper dimensional workshop with Julie, and today, and that was quite a while ago, and have done some Reiki for Julie as well. And so recently, Julie walked me and a friend through a visualization of really anchoring into our fifth dimensional selves. And this was what I wanted to bring to my audience today. So Julie, take it away.
Okay. Hi, guys. I am Julie Tucek, and I have been studying and working and doing a lot of energy work for the past 30 years with many fabulous teachers. Mainly, is Dawn Eagle Woman. That's one of my main mentors. And so I had a great time with Andy and Sally, and we were talking about how to ground into our selves, but also connect up into our fifth dimensional self, because we are getting slammed around constantly with everybody's realities, their opinions, and trying to, in a very covert and not covert way, trying to control you. And so, so I did this meditation.
I just realized it hadn't been recording, so I'm recording, but keep going.
Okay. So what we're going to do is it's I could say a guided meditation, but it's actually activization. And you have to realize that energy follows intention. So energy is kind of neutral. So wherever intention you put it bound is where the energy is going to go. And so saying that, so we're going to just start preparing. The way we start was we're going to ground down into Mother Earth. That's the first thing. You have to realize that the people on the planet they're kind of in chaotic mode, but Mother Earth is still our stability. She needs our love, our appreciation, our gratitude. And when we ground into her with that open-heartedness to her, she helps anchor us and ground us and supports us. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to ground down. So you can have your eyes open or closed, whatever makes you more comfortable. And I just want to imagine either grounding down through your feet or your perineum or your root chakra. You can do that either way. So we're going to ground down, and imagine your etheric legs are going down through the cement, through the mud, through the granite, through the bedrock, down to the crystal core of Mother Earth. And so we're going to anchor into the crystal core of Mother Earth, and we're going to just hold. That's going to be our holding ground. So I would like you to shift to the heart chakra and open it up. And in that heart chakra, I want you to imagine a beautiful ball of golden light. And I want you to imagine that golden light of moving through all the chakras. So it's that light is going to expand to the throat, to the third eye, to the crown, but also to the solar plexus, the second, the first. And with that light, I want you to just totally expand, covering within, through, and around your body from the heart, that whole light covering all those main 7 chakras. But we're going to continue on. And now I want you to imagine that light is expanding all the way up above your head to I like to say the 14th chakra, but let's just go to the 10th because that's where we're going to be playing, and all the way down to your legs and around your feet. So you're in, through, and around your whole body and above your head and below your feet, covered in that white light that starts from the heart. So from there, I would like you to imagine bringing your consciousness up to the 7th chakra, which is your crown. And I want you to imagine about 8 inches, 9 inches above your head is what we have called the high self, or we also call that the oversoul. Either term works really well. So whatever works for you. So you're going from your heart, you're surrounded in what we call the unified field of light. You're in that. You're going from the heart, you're moving all the way up, and you're connecting and anchoring into your high self or your oversoul. And I want you to imagine lifting yourself and bringing your energy and your intention there. And I want you to imagine finding a way of locking yourself into that. So that's your connection to your higher intelligence, your intuition, your deep knowledge, your inner knowing. This is the oversoul. And that's where, or your high self. This is where we need to live for the rest of our lives, in this high state. Of course, we have to sometimes come into beta world, which, driving, go in the grocery store, blah, blah, blah. But even when you're doing that, you're still, once you begin to practice is anchoring up here, this is what's going to move you into a higher expanded state of consciousness. Because we're learning to expand to the 5th. It's not ascending. That's a whole different thing. We're wanting to expand our consciousness and our vibration. And when we practice that and keep that state going, we naturally influence the people around us without having to say or do anything, because our vibration has now hit another level. So we're going to just imagine you're in your light, your unified field of light within, through, and around your body. You're taking your heart, you're moving it all the way up through the crown, and you're locking it into your high self. Just imagine a lock. You're creating this anchor, because you're anchoring down to Mother Earth. And then you're anchoring up into your high self. And that's the expanded state that we need to stay in to create a new reality and a new dimension of being and living here on Earth. So as you've locked into that high self, I want you to come back to the heart and think about the high self coming out through the heart about a foot or so. And in that dimensional field, you're going to anchor into your high self through the heart. So we're anchoring our high self from the heart, because the heart is the greatest wisdom. It knows before our mind does, because our mind can lie and justify and blah, blah, blah. But our heart knows the truth. And when we have something come in our life that we need to clarify, it's going into the heart to ask, what is the best? So if we expand our heart out to our high self, and our high self, we are anchoring into the 5th dimension, because the 5th dimension is all about heart and intuition and the femininity and matching it and coming in. So we're anchoring here, we're anchoring from the heart, and we're anchoring to the Mother Earth. And so this is the state we want to be in. So close your eyes or just find a point. So I'm going to just go over this one more time. We're going to open up the heart. From the heart, we create light that is within, through, and around our whole body and above and below our head. We bring that light and energy up through the 6th chakra, up to the crown. And above the crown, we're going to anchor in and feel where our high self oversoul is. And I want you just to imagine anchoring into that and holding it there, coming back to the heart. Let the heart expand out to its high self and anchoring there. And from that state, that's when you find your clarity. You find what is your true love, all connected. And so this is a practice. There's times when I come back and I'm like, and I just go back up. And it's a practice because you'll be bouncing back and forth, because the fourth dimension, kind of what we're in, which I call the psychic cesspool of what we're in right now, because we're about to move over. But right now we're kind of like in the birth canal, birthing out this new reality that we all want to create, which has more peace, love, harmony, and understanding. And so to keep doing that, we need to practice keeping ourselves in our high self and our heart's high self and grounded. So as we do that, we expand, our vibration expands, and it really helps shift us into a new way of being and a new way of seeing. And that is what's the most important right now, is that we are getting tossed around with, social media and the media and people's opinions and people's, self-righteousness and people. So what happens is that we get like this. So if we can stop and go, you know what, that's not my truth. This is my truth. This is the heart coming out is my truth. I'm grounded into the greatest truth, which is Mother Earth. And so no matter what happens, you can always be in your truth, speak your truth, and be highly connected. But this also brings you into a path of empathy and compassion for others. So there you go. I hope this helps you. I hope this gives you another tool to keep working on, keep expressing, and keep an appreciation for yourself, because you have decided to be birthed in this time to help the earth shift into a more beautiful place. And even though it doesn't seem like it, but if we stay in ourselves and our true self and our high self and speak our truth, we will begin to shift the planet. Okay. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate you very much.
Thank you, Julie. Thank you. And I for one, it just reminds me how grateful I am to have you in my life.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
I love you.
I love you too. I wanted to come back just really quick. I have a couple of questions that came up through that may or may not be questions of anyone watching, but two things.
Okay.
When you're expanding your heart, right? You're expanding into your aura almost, right? Are you expanding forward, sideways, backwards?
Okay. Well, when you start with being in the unified field, so you are in the field of light, right? Within, through, and around. When the heart is expanding, you're expanding your aura. You're expanding the vibration of love, gratitude, or appreciation, whatever works for you, out. And when that connects out, you're connecting into the outer aura of your high self. Does that make sense? Does that help clarify that? Mm-hmm. Because you're doing it up, you're doing it out, and you're doing it down.
That's right.
So, and then when we start, the heart is putting us within, through, and around in all this light. So,
and for anyone that's not aware, we don't just have the 7 chakras that are in our physical field, right? We have 7 chakras above that, 7 below, and then we have this great big aura, which is 14 layers of that field as well. So I think if that's something that's new to you, go out and, search and maybe Julie, you have a recommendation of, I had said that I was going to mention Tom Kenyon. I love the resources on his website, right? I
He's
love,
great.
and Julie has been a long time, as have I, but she's got to actually work with him in person way more than I have. His website is just tomkenyon.com, and it's an amazing resource. Of course, I can't not also say that, Julie is an amazing resource. So please look her up at Innerwave Dynamics, and I'll put that link. She's on Facebook at Innerwave Dynamics, and I'll put that link. What?
I was going to you said something, and I was going to clarify something, but then the thought bounced. Hopefully it'll bounce back.
Okay. So the second question that I had,
Okay.
that's just basics, right? Like when we're talking about expansion, I think that's important for people to understand. The second thing I wanted to touch back on was Mother Earth and anchoring. And in my email that I sent out, that, is also on our blog, on our website, last week we talked about the world that no longer serves you and letting go of that. And you had said to me a couple of nights ago, it's the world, this reality. And thank you for making me clarify this, which I will in the coming email this week, of this is the world, whatever the world is that no longer serves us really is individual, but it also is the third dimensional, greed-based, patriarchal, last 2000 years world that I'm referring to. Okay.
Right.
And I know that, but I'm clarifying that for the audience.
Sure. Sure.
And then what you said to me was the world that does serve us is Mother Earth. She'll always be there because she's always been there. And we're just my mom used to, or my mom said it because my grandfather said this is totally vulgar and I'm going to say it anyway. We are just a pimple on the ass of history, right? Like we come and we go. And I have to throw in my humor every now and then because honestly, we are like a blip on this planet's long-term history and on the universe, like aside from Earth, right? There's a whole big great universe out there. And the people who know what I'm talking about when I say there are civilizations and realities that we can't even comprehend. So anchoring, tell us a little bit more about anchoring into the love and gratitude for Mother Earth.
Okay. Well, Mother Earth is really shaking our core in a sense with all the weather that's happening and the fires and the hurricanes. What happens is that we as man has helped create this. And also we have also created that reality of that. But when you anchor into her, she needs as much love and support energetically as she does maybe physically. And so when we anchor in down to her and give her our love and our appreciation or gratitude, whatever, or our blessings for her, she helps stabilizes you. Mm-hmm. So when you anchor in and you're grounded and you're going through your day, you can feel like you're in your body. You're not in the past, you're not in the present, you're actually very present, because when we're out of our body is when we're thinking about things and we're not even aware. The best example I have of that is like when you're driving and you get to your destination, but you don't know how you got there. Did you run a stop sign? Did you, because you're an automatic pilot that's out of body. So when we can ground into her, it brings us into our present. And it also helps form our future of how we want our life and the world to be. Well, so anchoring into her grounds us. It's like our grounding. As much as we ground into our high self or ground in through our heart, it helps us create what we need, and also helps you manifest more quickly. So that's the importance of every now and then just taking a breath and going, oh. And there's different ways to ground too. Some people think of their feet as tree roots and roots going down. For me personally, I like to go all the way to the middle and hit the crystal core of her. Mm-hmm. But there's many ways to ground into Mother Earth. Whatever works for you is fabulous. But that just helps keep you here.
Can be as simple as taking your shoes off and walking in the grass and hugging a tree.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
With that open-heartedness too,
That's true.
which
Right.
is, I think, is
Setting
really
that intention,
important. Yeah.
setting the intention. Even, for a lot of, and I'm sure, you hear this with your clients. I hear it with, my students, is that, I don't know if I'm doing it right. And if you set the intention, you're doing it right. I
Yeah.
set the intention that I'm grounding into Mother Earth, and then whatever feels natural, grab a giant cluster of quartz, right? We're both,
The crystals.
yes, crystals. But yeah, I mean, sometimes it's just walking in nature, hugging a tree, and feeling into the vibration of the plants, as
Yeah.
well. Tap
Yeah.
rooting into their root system as well. Any last thoughts?
And you can play with that too. You can play
It
with
is supposed to
like
be
kind of
playful.
playful and play what works for you, and you'll maybe find your own way of grounding and keeping you present.
Absolutely.
So it's just
Get fun.
the great thing about energy work is that the most important thing I think I learned, I think that Don Eagleman said this, or maybe Tom said it too, is keeping an open, curious mind. Because when you keep an open, curious mind, it's not, you get to kind of go like, oh, I'm going to play with that. And what does this feel like? And,
Yeah.
so, kind of have a joyful playfulness with this, as well as, not as serious is not the word I'm looking
No.
for, but more of
Or
a
perfect, or,
perfect. That doesn't work. And also in energy work, time and space collapse. So you get to kind of expand and play with that. So yeah.
yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. This is a pleasure.
Any last thoughts?
Let the force be with you.
Hmm.
Let the force be
I
with
just
you.
said that literally 20 minutes ago. We were both with my friend Jake, and
Ah, so thank you.
we were both like, all right, Jedi force be with you, everybody.
I know.
Julie, stick around. Yeah, stick around. I'm gonna hit stop, and we can wrap up. So thank you.